What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday over here. Almost forgot. Wednesday over here, Bitcoin is currently at about 28.4K area. Pulling back just very slightly, but it is still on top of the daily 200 SMA, which is a huge signal. If it can actually hold above this moving average, the next signal to be looking for is a weekly candle close above the weekly 200 SMA, which we will be taking a look at into the charts in this video. Of course, what could this mean for the altcoins? Okay, if Bitcoin is actually able to continue holding above these levels, it's going to look a lot more bullish for the altcoins, at least in the short term. However, if Bitcoin actually pulls back and break back below the daily 200 SMA, that is not going to be looking good. So still paying attention to Bitcoin as it is the driver of this entire crypto market. Chances are, if Bitcoin goes up, your altcoins will go up with it. If it pulls back, very likely your altcoins are going to be dragged down with it. So very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin first. Now, the altcoin analyses in this video will include ANKR, VRA, and APE. So ANKR token, Veracity, and APE coin. Going to be covering these coins. See what has changed since the last time we have talked about these coins. See some upside and downside price targets, as well as seeing if these coins are ready to actually reverse against their downtrends, or could it continue in their recent pumps. Also going to be taking a look into some key price levels for these coins to break in order for them to go either direction, okay? I'm going to be giving you guys my personal opinions and what I'm personally doing in this market later in this video, so make sure to be staying around for that. Of course, none of what I'm saying here is financial advice. It's purely my personal opinions and speculations. I could very well be wrong. I am not a financial advisor, nor am I an elite trader of any sorts, even though I am a profitable trader who's been able to keep most of my profits during the last bear markets, and I'm looking to crush it here for the next bull cycle. So if you guys feel the same way, if you guys are feeling pumped on this Wednesday morning, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Let's get right into it. All right, so we do have Bitcoin here, just down very slightly today. We are still holding above the daily 200 SMA, which is that really big signal I've been looking for. Okay, we've been talking about this for quite some time. Bitcoin has finally gotten it closed on top of the daily 200 SMA. Quite a bit of a struggle there to get back on top. Okay, but yesterday we did get a retest back at about 28K. It did get a huge, a wake back up to about 28.4K. And now we are still retesting this. Okay, what could be happening here? Okay, so I mentioned this possible developing rising channel pattern here. I'm saying possible because we don't have a third wick to the upper trend line here. So this is still a developing situation. If it is actually validated, then we are going to be, then this is going to be a bearish pattern, right? Rising channels are bearish and they usually break to the downside, okay? It's still possible that it still breaks to the upside, but the probabilities are in favor of the bears if this pattern is actually validated. So look for that third trend line on the upper trend line here, okay? That third candle touch on the upper trend line here. Or if, if it's against the probabilities, then the bulls can actually break out of here, and that would look very bullish, okay, for Bitcoin here. Now, measure move. I'm not even going to talk about the measure move because it's not validated here, okay? So just be on the lookout for that third candle touch the upper trend line, which would be about, if you have the chart drawn exactly like mine, it's going to be about that 30.1K area, starting from 30.1K area, okay? Now let's see what's going on a smaller time frame here. So I think on the 15-minute time frame here, even No, we don't. So I had a possible developing rising wedge, but that is not validated. Even how about on the 5-minute? No, it's not a validated rising wedge. So we're not gonna talk about this on the smaller time frame, okay? So, like I said, if Bitcoin is actually able to keep on top of the daily 200 SMA, the next signal, the bullish signal I'm looking for would be a weekly candle back above this weekly 200 SMA, currently at about 28 point, I'm just gonna say 28.4K to be even here, the orange line, okay? Then that's going to be looking a lot better for Bitcoin as well as the altcoins, okay? And then the next real test here, which Bitcoin has been stuck under for over a year, right, would be about that 32K area. Now, if Bitcoin actually comes back up here to that 32K area, then we're looking at a validated cup and handle situation, and that's going to be looking very good for the entire crypto market here. Okay, mostly the entire crypto market here. Okay, now let's take a look into ANKR. We'll see what has gone on since the last time I've talked about this coin. Okay, so last time I talked about this coin, just a very quick recap here. There was a falling wedge, usually break to the upside. Okay, it did. Measure target was about 5.1 cents area. However, this breakout happened and it went nowhere near that, right? It went as far up as about, let me move that trend line there, about almost 3 cents, okay? Before getting a very hard rejection back down to as far down to about 1.7 cents area, okay? And then I mentioned that there is a possible double bottom scenario here. You have your one bottom, second bottom. In my opinion, is still an active scenario, okay? And this breakout of this falling wedge is still very active as well because the price action is still above this pattern here, okay? Now, the measure move out of this double bottom would be about 3.9 cents area. So that's kind of like a sub pattern out of this breakout here, okay? Double bottoms usually break to the upside as well, okay? So let's see if this actually happens. The neckline is going to be about 2.8 cents area. So if ANKR is actually able to break back on top of 2.8 cents area, then we're going to be looking at if the price action actually comes back up here to the measure move here of about 3.9 cents, 4 cents area, okay, that's the measure move of that double bottom, okay? Now, very important to note, measure targets are only estimates, okay? It really depends on the type of market that you're in. In a very bullish market like 2020, 2021, I've seen these measure targets just get destroyed by the bulls, okay? I mean, it exceeded these measure targets, but we're in a very different type of market right now. We're in a very iffy market. As you guys can see, example right here, okay? ANKR broke out of this falling wedge pattern, measure target 5 cents, right? It did not go anywhere close to that. It has not done anything for an extended period of time. This is on the weekly time frame, okay? So that's something to be keeping in mind of. It really depends on the type of markets. So let's go back here and come over here to the 3-day time frame and see what potentially we're looking at here. Okay, on the 3-day time frame here, so it looks like we actually have another pattern here, which looks like a cup and handle pattern here on this 3-day time frame. I would say the neckline is going to be about 2.1 cents, 2.1 cents area where I can see a neckline here, a rough neckline here, 2.1 cents area. That would be your resistance as well, okay? Let's take a look into some key moving averages as that could be acting as resistance, okay? So first of all, you're going to have your 3-day 50 SMA, which is about 2.2 cents area, which is the gray line. The 3-day 200 SMA, the orange line here, is going to be about your 3.3 cents area. They're going to be coming down, okay? You guys can repeat the same exercise for the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes, looking at some of these moving averages as your resistances and supports. Also referring back to previous trading history on the candlesticks, right? To identify some of these key supports and resistance as well. For time's sake, we're not going to be doing all of that here, okay? Now, let's also point out that the immediate support right here would be a 3-day 21 SMA, which was the price action has actually just broken back above. It's going to be about that 1.9 cent area, which is your blue line. Let's take a look into past trading history here and see if we can identify any other key supports, right? So first of all, you're going to have, from what I'm seeing here, back in August and September of this year, is going to be about your 1.75 cents area. That's going to be your next key support here, okay? If your 3-day 21 SMA does not hold, you could possibly have other moving averages underneath that as well. So look down on the daily, weekly, monthly timeframes, or whatever other timeframes, right? Okay, so that is basically what I'm looking at for ANKR. Let's see if this actually breaks to the upside. Now let's go back here to Veracity next. See what has gone on in this market. Okay, last time we have talked about this, we had seen a pretty big pump out of Veracity here. Okay, just in the past couple of weeks, right? I think I said on the 4-hour time frame, there was a falling wedge. So it actually broke to the upside here. Okay, so let's move the measurements to that exact breakout point. That's going to give you a measure move of about 0.63 cents area. Price action went as far up as about 0.53 cents area. Let's see what this price action could be doing right here. So could we see another falling channel or falling wedge of some sorts? That seems to be a very common theme. All right, so we do have a falling channel here. Now measure move. Hang on. Let me just validate this because yeah, this is not a falling channel. I'm sorry, guys. Because if I had it drawn like that, then I won't get that second swing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say this is a falling channel because the first swing there does not really touch the bottom trend line, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna call this a validated falling channel at least, right? I'm gonna take these trend lines away. Let me see if we have any other patterns on a smaller time frame, because on the 4-hour, I don't see a validated falling channel there. So let's see if on the 1-hour here, do we have any kind of pattern going? It's not going to be as meaningful because on the hourly time frame, you're not going to see as big of a measure target comparing to a bigger pattern. Even on the 15-minute. All right, on the 15-minute, we have a falling wedge pattern that has already broken out, right? Measure move out of this falling wedge. So the reason why I am looking down into these smaller time frames on these lower time frames is seeing if I can get any clues on what could be happening on a higher time frame. Okay. So if I was wondering what could be happening on the daily time frame, I would usually look down to the 4-hour time frame. If I can't find anything, I would come down here to the hourly time frame. It also depends on the type of situation, of course. Now, the 15-minute time frame here is telling me that the measure move out of this smaller falling wedge pattern is going to be about 0.52 cent area. Okay, let's see if it actually goes to that, right? Because price action currently is about 0.48 cent area, so it's going to be about a 10% move. Now let's see if that actually happens. If that does happen, or that does not happen, and this actually breaks back down instead, we can come back here and take a look at what is happening on this chart. If you guys do want to continue seeing more of VRA, do hit that like, subscribe, and comment, letting me know that you guys do want to see more updates on this coin, as well as the other coins in this video. Now, let's go ahead and come back here to the higher time frame. Right? We're going to take a look into some key resistances and supports right now. Key resistance right now, daily 200 SMA, 0.49 cents area. Daily 21 SMA, about 0.52 cents area. That's upward sloping. Key support immediately here is going to be about your 0.45 cents area. You guys can repeat the same exercise for other bigger time frames or whatever time frames, right? And previous trading history for key supports and resistances. Now let's go ahead and go to APE. All right, for APE here. Last time I did mention that we've been talking about this. So falling channel on this weekly time frame. If this is actually able to break out of this pattern here, measure move is going to be about 9.45 cents area. If it breaks out by November 13th, the week of November 13th, okay? If it doesn't break out by then and this pattern stays intact, then move this measurement along this upward trend line, and that should give you a lower measure target, okay? If it breaks out sooner, which, we don't have that much more time before sooner, then we'll just move the measurement up along the upper trend line. You guys can verify these trading concepts, the falling wedges, measure targets, cup and handles, whatever I'm talking about here that sounds technical to you. Google search them, chat GPT them. I prefer chat GPT now because it takes a lot less time, right? It's a lot more direct. And verify these ideas, right? Whatever I'm throwing out here, I think the most important thing is educate yourself on these trading concepts so you guys can actually be here for the long run, because this is the single most important thing you can actually learn in this market trading, right? Or even investing. Now, let's come back over here to APE, okay? Price action here is very close to this upward trend line. It's going to take quite a bit of a move to get to the upward trend line here, even because it's going to be at least, it's going to be starting from about $4.30 area and slightly downward sloping, okay? So it's going to take quite a bit of a move here. Let's see if it's going to be able to make a pretty big move here, okay? Falling wedges right now, let's see here. So we're in a huge falling wedge. Let's take a look into the daily time frame or even the 3-day time frame and see if we can get any clues on what could be happening here. So on this 3-day time frame here, there was a falling wedge, again, broke out. Measure move out of this falling wedge would be about 1.9 cents area, slightly, actually 1.85 cents area. That's even enough, okay? Price action broke out, okay? Didn't do anything for a little while. It went up to as far as about $1.30 area before getting rejected back down here to almost about $1, okay? Now it is formed some type of a double bottom here. I would consider this to be a double bottom with bullish divergence here, okay? Some important ideas: bullish divergence, double bottom, okay? So let's see if it's actually able to break out of this neckline that is about $1 and I'm just gonna say $1.31, okay? This little double bottom here. Okay. Now, key resistance that's very apparent right now. 3-day 21 SMA, $1.25 area. 3-day 50 SMA, it's going to be about your $1.80 area. The gray line here. You guys can repeat the same exercise, identifying moving averages on other time frames as well, and previous trading history, of course. Now, that's basically it. What I'm looking at for some of these coins. Let's see if they're actually able to continue on their trajectory, or will they actually, go the opposite direction, right? Because there is also always a chance. What I think about this market right now is that, the markets here in crypto overall does look bullish because Bitcoin is actually able to get that break above the daily 200 SMA. Now, given that Bitcoin is able to hold above the daily 200 SMA, that's going to be looking very good for the crypto market and a lot of these altcoins here. Okay, so very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin still. Currently, I am doing leverage trading as I have been for the past couple of weeks, have been getting some consistent results. So I am going to continue doing that right now, especially because Bitcoin has been in a pretty tight range still, right? It hasn't gone parabolic yet. So this is something I am looking to even do after Bitcoin has a breakout, a huge breakout. So this is what I'm doing. You guys let me know what you guys are doing. Are you guys holding, trading? What are you guys trading? What are you guys holding? How's this market treating you? Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys on the next one.